Welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson, and this is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
And tonight, or today, we're going to be reviewing No Such Thing, and it was released in either in 2001 or 2002, I'm not sure.
2001 it was made. I believe it was released in 2001.
Yeah, because at the time, that was the year that 9/11 took place, changing the course of history.
Yeah. Let me put it to you this way. It was shown at the Cannes Film Festival in May 2001. When it was released, where was it released? I don't have a release date. No, don't have a release date. But probably 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably 2001 though.
Yeah.
Here you go. Let's move right along,
so
shall
it's
we?
a supernatural fantasy drama in my mind.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's I don't know if it's a combination of two areas doing it, or I know some of the filming was done in Iceland and some was done in New York. If you look at the credits and the cast and crew and there were a lot of foreign type names, Icelandic type names. So yeah, they use a lot of local guys up there. So now here we go. Produced by Hal Hartley, Frederick Fredriksson, which sounds like Icelandic, Cecilia Roque, Roque. So she might be American or something. I don't know. Directed by Hal Hartley, written by Hal Hartley.
No surprise.
Now, I normally go into budget now, but I'll explain a little bit as we go along here. Budget was $5 million. I'm partly transporting the guys around and doing filming in different countries and whatever and blah blah blah. Now, box office only $62,000. Now, it's not a case that necessarily it's a bad film. It's a case that the distribution company didn't like the movie, so they didn't push it too hard, and they gave it to 3 places to screen it for 2 weeks, and then went straight to DVD.
Reminds me of, as I was telling Mike earlier about that, it made me think of one of Ed Wood's, when he was doing Glenn and Glenda, that one we appeared in, say, small theatres around.
Small theatres, because the distributor didn't want to distribute it.
And no global distribution.
Yeah, and you look at Psycho had the same problem when Alfred Hitchcock did that. They said, we'll let you release it, a couple of 3 low-key films. They wouldn't promote it. They didn't do anything. So Alfred Hitchcock took it on himself to promote it. And it became global. So this movie could have fared better at the box office if it was promoted. So that's one of the reasons why we're reviewing it, because we think it's not as bad as the figures and the critics say.
I think it's not exactly in the middle, or
it's not an A grade.
It's not an A grade movie.
But I'll say it's not necessarily a B grade either. I think it's sitting on the cusp of A and B. How's that? Yeah. Anyway, here we go. Right, I won't go through the people too much here, but the main people are Sarah Polley, Polley, plays Beatrice. She's our young lead female. Robert John Burke plays a monster who is an immortal monster who has been around since the world began. He saw us when we were one-cell creatures in the sea, developing into fish, and then onto land, and etc., etc., and he wants to die. He's been around so long, and he's lonely. He wants to go.
Yeah, because his only substance for life is drinking.
Yeah, to takes the pain away. Anyway, here we go. Helen Mirren plays a role in it. She plays Beatrice's boss, and appropriately named the boss. Yeah. Julie Christie plays a doctor, Dr. Anna. Now, there's a guy called Baltasar Kormaka, whatever. He plays Dr. Atu?
Yeah, Ortega.
He's a weird, eccentric sort of scientist guy who has an idea on how to destroy the monster in a nice way, because he wants to help him out, because he calls him his friend.
Yeah.
I won't mention the other two people were Annika Peterson and Erica Gimple. They played some minor roles there. Okay. I won't dally too much. You might as well get into telling the story.
Might as well. So the story begins on the Monsters Island, and he's got some audio equipment. How he got it, we don't know yet, but
find out.
We find out soon. And he sends it to the local town not too far from where he dwells, and I guess they send it off to New York. And where Beatrice, who is a secretary, I think, or
she worked there,
assistant,
secretary or something.
She gets the stuff, and most of it's all scrambled. Probably not really well. It's just very scrambled, and it's from her boyfriend or her fiance was a cameraman who was up there in Iceland. This is where the creature is from Iceland or something.
They went to Iceland to go and investigate reports on a monster living up there.
Yeah.
He was part of a 3-person team who didn't come back. Roll on.
Yeah, so she gives this information to her boss, and her boss says that she's a very what's the word for someone who forgets the unimportant stuff, or not so.
The boss is wrapped up in herself too much. He doesn't give a shit about anyone working below her. That's why she doesn't care about her names.
Yes. And of course, Beatrice's boyfriend's among them, and she wants to know the truth, like what happened to the team.
Yeah, and this girl, Beatrice, wants to say, "Can I go up there and do the investigation instead of sending somebody else up there?"
Yeah. So after a few major setbacks, where she tries to get on a train, and there's a bit of terrorist activities, and then there was when she got on the plane finally, there was a bomb on the plane, and it destroyed the plane, and she was the lone survivor. And she had a broken back and stuff. They had to go in hospital rehab for 6 months or something or other, and then she finally got out. She's almost well enough to travel, and then over the next couple of weeks she was getting better and better. So she took on the assignment herself without her boss, because she wasn't working there anymore. Her boss, after she heard that she was the only lone survivor, she wanted to interview her.
An exploiter. Gee.
Yes, even though this would mean world fame for her and all that stuff. But that's not important. So moving on, so she goes up to where her boyfriend was heading up to the town. That was where the monster is dwelling, and these
little remote country seaside town of a couple of people, about 20 people living in it.
Yeah, and the people explain the story, and in a funny left hand kind of way.
A left hand?
Not so very detailed, not an interesting.
A very sketchy
way
overview of what's.
Which is a bit of a problem, because most of the time these guys are speaking.
Some is in Icelandic, and then somebody says, "Oh, the person said so and so, yada yada yada." And then somebody speaks in English, with an Icelandic accent, and so So she finds it a little bit hard to fathom what's going on, but they decide.
So they then drug her,
alcohol
with alcohol, or
they get her drunk as a skunk.
And they then send her off as a sacrifice to this creature.
Yeah, the monster. Plus a couple of bottles of booze.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it might be some sort of spirituous beverage.
Yeah, so he takes her inside, and at first he sounds like he's thinking of killing her, but he's not thinking of it.
He kills people because he finds them annoying, more so than anything.
Yeah,
they drive him crazy. So
she attempts to shoot the creature, but somehow bullets don't affect him.
He's immortal.
Yeah,
he heals straight away.
Yes.
Aha.
Yeah, and he's a very bad-tempered creature.
He's foul-mouthed. He's got an attitude like you wouldn't believe. He's just like me on a bad day. No.
Yeah, he swears like a sailor, or worse than that.
Worse than a sailor. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, like me when the Gredkins aren't around.
Yeah, and I'm trying not to do it in front of the kids.
Yeah, you do sometimes slip.
I slip.
Anyway.
But anyway, back to the story. Beatrice suggests that is if there's any other way that could kill him, and he says that of a doctor that used to live in the local town, but somehow was taken away because his bizarre figures were a bit bizarre.
And I thought he was a bit crazy, but he ended up being taken away and working for the US government in a secret facility.
Yes, and Beatrice suggests maybe you can come with me to America, and maybe the newspaper guys would find Otto.
Yeah.
Yes, so
what a good idea.
Of course, he says she gets him to promise not to kill anyone
or kill them or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So he and her they head off into back through the town and back to another town where she got the phone.
The bigger town.
Yeah.
Bigger town. Yeah.
She phones up the newspaper guys, told them about the monster, and it's like now next part of this movie, it's like you're guarding a pop star.
Beatrice becomes famous, and they promote her as the one who captured the monster, and the monster is exploited. How's that?
Yeah, even though they did promise to find the scientist to help him die.
And they sort of did, but they didn't.
No.
They didn't bring them together.
Yeah. See, the boss, she doesn't want to kill the monster off just yet because she thinks this is the biggest scoop of the century.
Yeah.
So, what's the point of killing it off if it's just gonna disappear eventually?
Kill the goose that laid the golden egg, sort of thing. No. Plenty of eggs that come out of this one.
Yeah. So while Beatrice is wrapped up in celebrityness, the monster is lonely, and he then gets thrown into a lab, and they start experimenting on him. And then, after the experiments, they suggest that they should let him loose and try to provoke him into killing someone in order to get ratings up.
But he made a promise not to kill anybody, so he was in a dilemma.
Yeah. Anyway, Beatrice meets up with Dr. Otto, who in turn was there all the time, but he was locked in one of the hotel rooms and was not allowed to be let out.
Or still talk to anybody,
Yeah, but he eventually did talk to Beatrice, and Beatrice, with the help of another assistant, to the boss, begins to help Dr. Otto and try to locate the monster and get him...
And bring him together,
Yeah. They then head back to Iceland, and everyone's on a bit of a rat hunt for the monster. The military's after him, the newspaper, and all that
Beatrice
stuff.
and the monster one step ahead of everybody, and that girl who's helping her out from the newspaper or whatever, she's already at the facility where Dr. Artu's been taken with his equipment set up to help send the monster on his way into oblivion.
Yeah. Of course, while he was talking, he thought that it doesn't seem right to remove a creature from existence, but this creature has lived, for a long, long time.
Well, since the beginning of the Earth, or longer. He wants to go.
Yeah. Beatrice is sad that he's going, and
it's a bit like Beauty and the Beast. She's falling in love with the guy because she's seeing him for what he really is. Not a hideous beast who looks horrible and has an attitude problem, but because he's hurting inside and he's really a nice guy, but he's just been... he's just sick of everything. He wants to go.
And the monster doesn't feel like anyone fears him anymore.
Yeah, he's sad now because no one's scared of him.
Yeah, but Beatrice pretends to say that she's scared of you.
Since he snuggles into him.
Yeah, I think she's scared of losing him or something.
Nice.
That's my theory, and I think it's funny whenever he says something in this movie. I think that's the one interesting thing about this movie. All his weird things he says.
Yeah, he acts like just a drunken slob with an attitude. Yeah, I'll kill you, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. And he uses a bit of profanity in there like anybody else would, just like a human being would, in the same circumstances.
So anyway, the military catches up to them, and eventually, while they're getting the machine up and ramping, and...
Chugga.
Yeah, and eventually they throw the switch, and we don't get to see what becomes of him, whether the machine works or not.
No, we don't know. It was left up to us It looked like it was working, and just at the end of the process, we fade to black, making us wonder: Did he die? Did it work? So you left it hanging there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The end. I know that's very...
Fade to black.
Fade to black. So that's roughly all I can say about
it's a good, basic, nice little self-contained story. Some people don't like the story. They think it's disjointed. I don't think it's disjointed. I think it rolls along quite nicely. If you're paying attention, it makes a lot of sense. So blow it out your bum, reviewers. Okay? Now, production. Okay, I won't go into too much. It was shot in Iceland and New York during September and October 2000. It was the first Hartley production for a major company, so it was his first attempt at a major project.
Wow.
Yeah. MGM United Artists and Francis Ford Coppola was one of the executive producers. So Francis thought it was worthwhile getting in on the act. Okay, so it was ill received at the Cannes Film Festival, and I think that was probably one of the reasons why the distribution company decided we're not going to do too much with it. They didn't like it, so we'll just bung it out to 3 theatres. Could be art house type theatres or something or other. Let it go, and then we'll reel it in and put it off the home media. So they didn't give it a chance, I don't think. What else? So the release in early 2002 was a low-key affair, which means I didn't advertise it much. So no one actually knew it was there.
Yeah.
And after 2 weeks, only 3 screens showed, so 3 theatres showed the film. It went to home video within months. But we don't know what it did in home media. It's still available today. It's 20 years ago, so if it's available, it must be there, and people are watching it.
I haven't watched. Seeing as we watched it, both me and Mike, I do think that it is a cross between being an A and a B movie.
It's in the middle there somewhere.
It's in the middle.
It's not quite B enough, and it's not quite A. It's
Yeah, that's why I feel like that's why it's not 100% the best.
See, if they made it more into a horror movie or threw some action into it, it might have appealed to more people. But it's more of a drama, a supernatural drama, bit of fantasy thrown in. And not everyone likes that sort of style. So, yeah. No. But here we go. I'm not going to go through all the critical comments, but one of them was positive.
Okay, that'll be good. Let's hear that.
In the assessment of E.L. Risden, no such thing is a marvellous and underappreciated cinematic revision of the Anglo-Saxon epic. Well, which is probably Beowulf or something like that. The satire of No Such Thing focuses not on our remnant fears of traditional monsters, but on our numb-headed failure to fear the functional monsters, our large and exploitative corporations can become, like the media and stuff. Say, we're going to exploit this monster and rip him apart and cut him in little pieces and whatever. So, yet, who's the real monster? You see, on those of us who allow them, you and I, by watching them or paying them or simply not resisting them to do so. So they're looking at it from an objective point of view, saying it's who's the real monster, the monster or the people who are trying to exploit him, experiment on him. He's a living creature, and they try torturing him and other things. And so he could see what the film was about, where the other guy said, I didn't like the way it was, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, they didn't understand the film.
Yeah.
I did.
I remember a lot of other movies that did exploitation in their film.
Exploitation,
with monsters or something no one understands.
Well, look at King Kong. They took him from his island where he was happy and smiling, eating bananas and whatever, and eating the odd virgin, and they took him to the big city and exploited him. And he got annoyed, and he tried to run away, and they killed him. Who's the monster? The monster, the big gorilla who wasn't really a monster, or the people who killed him and exploited him and tried to destroy him? And same sort of thing. Frankenstein, another one. Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein made a creature. The creature was not the monster. He was a creation, and he got treated poorly, and he retaliated. He wasn't the monster. He's reacting to the naughty people around him who wanted to kill him. So yeah, it's the same sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So okay, there's not much to say on this. However,
yeah, I wish I could say more, guys, but unfortunately, this is one movie I can't really put into words. Yeah, that's a change,
isn't it? The one we did the other night. Couldn't shut her up. No. Look, I would really say that
it seemed like a movie that should have gone directly to TV or VHS.
I was going to say, if it went to television, it might have got a bit of viewing. It became a TV movie instead of trying to release it for theatres. And if it's syndicated, so they might have got more money. I don't know how it works with TV syndications and whatever, but I think this is one of those movies that went under the radar because nobody wanted it because the distribution company couldn't understand the movie. So that's the way I see it. What do you think?
I would agree with you.
I mean, it's okay. Hang on.
Who was it?
Donations.
Morons.
Where are we up to?
You were discussing distributors, why they were so... So you're right about that. These distributor guys don't know Squiddo or who to distribute and who not to distribute.
Yeah, exactly right. Anyway, they wasted the money.
When it's not really their job, this is supposed to be like their area of trying to get the work noticed. I mean, it should matter to them and to the director and the production company that the work should be seen.
Yeah. Now, if they promoted it better, they could have made more money at the theatre. If they went art house instead of mainstream theatres, they might have worked better.
Yeah.
They didn't promote it. I mean, there's an old saying: Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. Well, if you make the movie, they will come, but they will not come if they don't know it exists. Okay, so yeah, they didn't promote it. So what hope did it have? I think it's a good movie. Not a great movie. It's a drama. It's not an action horror. Okay, guys. So you're not going to get your thrills and jump scares and everything else. However, touch of fantasy, touch of supernatural, drama, and I think it's good acting, especially the guy who plays the monster guy. What's his name again?
Let me see.
Robert Burke. He does a good job. And actually, I believe Robert Burke played in RoboCop. He was a cop. He was RoboCop. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in a number of movies. Yeah. Very good stuff.
Yeah. He carried it really good, especially the arrogance and the swearing and the drunkenness. He really made you believe he was a drunken slob of a monster. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, in Fangoria, the magazine, he says in an interview that once he decided to walk down the streets of New York City in his monster makeup, and no one gave him a second glance. I don't know why.
Because they're not scared. We're being desensitized. Oh, some guy in makeup walking down the street. Yeah. That's all it is.
Oh, and also, the original actor who was going to play the monster, he was going to be probably played by Gene.
Where point?
He was going to be played by Gene.
Point somewhere. Oh, Jean-Luc Godard.
Yeah, by the sounds of it sounds very French or something.
Well, Jean-Luc, sounds like, could be. Yeah.
Yeah. So, maybe the actor didn't want to come on board for gosh knows reasons. Well, I mean,
it's not everybody wants to get into a particular movie if they read the script. Not what I'm suited for, not what I want to play, that sort of stuff,
And you were right about the Beauty and the Beast part. It was, the inspiration by, he was the director and writer was inspired by Beauty and the Beast, and he was inspired by the Danish legend of
Beowulf.
Yeah, that story. I don't know much about that story, but I know Beauty and the Beast.
I must even get a copy of it and see if we can have a look at it.
Yeah, so I know the Beauty and the Beast story, but I never heard of the
I think Beowulf might have been a monster type thing too, but I don't know. I don't know. I've heard the name. I don't know too much about it.
Yeah. Do you want to rate this because I don't have anything else to talk about in this movie? Because this one was I didn't have very many trivia facts to.
Yeah, couldn't find too much because no one's bothered writing stuff up, so it's really hard. I actually will say there's plenty available on eBay if you want to buy one. So. No problem there.
Will there be any problems like any other movies under the same cinema name?
No, I don't believe so, no. On Amazon, it is rentable through Prime, and there's some for sale. There's more for sale on eBay, by the look of it. So it's around other platforms, other distribution places probably have a copy of it.
Okay.
I would suggest you have a look at it.
Yes.
And like I said, it's not a mind-blowing one. It's not an action one. It's not full of...
But if you're into fantasy drama, then that's your type of thing.
It's a good story. And I do like the way Robert Burke portrayed the monster. And I like the way Helen Mirren played I suppose, a corporate monster who tried to exploit him and everything. So you start wondering who's the real monster here.
Yeah, I always thought the boss was a monster.
I thought Helen Mirren played a good role of a real, what's the word, arrogant, nasty, horrible boss just looking for the next news story to make money.
Yeah, her last story in her character's story was getting arrested by the police and probably thought, this will make a good story. Where the editor of the very newspaper she works for gets arrested.
Yeah, so she can get her own story and that sort of stuff. So, little things like that. So, but she's a real monster. In this, not the monster. Yeah, it was great. Anyway, very, very much a lot of pathos. So is that the word, pathos?
You're saying
towards
the
monster. Yeah. You can see his side of it. Say he's been around for forever. No one likes him. He's got no friends. There's nobody else like him. He's bored. He's lonely. He wants to die. That's it. And I can understand that. But as you think. Somebody like Robinson Crusoe, living on an island. If Man Friday didn't appear there, he would have been going through the same sort of thing. I live here, there's birdies in the trees and other animals here. I'm here by myself. I'm here year in, year out, year in, year out. He'd get to the stage where he'd probably commit suicide too. If he didn't get Friday, that native boy Friday didn't come along, he probably got a crazy and killed himself.
That's true.
Yeah, interesting.
Anyway, do you want to rate this movie now? Because I'm getting kind of bored.
Because it's a little bit... I wouldn't say it's not polished. That's not the word I'm looking for. They could have done a little bit more to make it a little bit more interesting. There's nothing wrong with the directorship. There's nothing wrong with the filming. The characters are okay. It just needs something to lift it up to an A-grade movie. So I'm going to give it about 8.5.
I'm going to give it 8.5 too because it was something, as I said before, it's in between A and B.
Yeah, it's on the cusp there somewhere. It didn't quite make its name movie, and I think it's a little bit better than the average B movie, which can be downright boring or inane.
So I guess that's about it for us today, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and
I did.
And I hope you guys listen to our next one when we get it ready for you guys.
We might look. I don't know, but what we're going to do next. But I'm going to see if I can get a copy of Beowulf to have a look at me. If Beowulf looks good, we get a chance to watch it. We might do that next.
We'll
Maybe. I have to run it past the boss.
He's pointing at me.
No. She's not like Helen Mirren. She's a good boss.
Well, I just like trying different things.
Yeah, well, that's why.
And this is why was going to wanting to review this one because
It's different.
I wanted to do another Beauty and the Beast type theme movie.
Because we did that one, Iron Dragon. That's a bit like Beauty and the
Beast
too.
Yeah, it is. A bit of the story was inspired by
the
the
European-y. I think it was like Finlandy or Icelandy
at least
or
Germany,
something or other, or whatever, Danish or wherever it was done. Yeah, that was European, and that came out quite good.
Yeah, I think I gave it full marks on that last time we reviewed it.
That was done. So that was done a bit better than this movie.
Yeah, I thought the CGI was good and the storyline was great.
Yeah. So look, give this one a go. I mean, I would suggest rent it. If you're not sure about buying it, rent it. But if
you can look it up on YouTube. Well, that's where I got this one when I actually watched it on YouTube.
You watched it, yeah. Well, look, have a look on YouTube if you like. But if you like it, rent a copy or buy a copy and add it to your collection because it is worth a second and third look, and you get a better copy then. Yeah.
Yeah, just think about it, guys. It may be your cup of tea, it may not be, but it matters to you guys.
Yeah, but it's a good watch if you'd like drama type things. It's like I said, no jump scares, supernatural drama. Okay, but touching on fantasy.
Yeah,
and it's a good watch. It tells a good story.
All right, thanks for listening to our latest podcast, everyone. So this is Sarah Stephenson
and Michael
saying we'll see you guys for our next podcast.
Bye
for now.